Living here in the tropics, there are many dangers for our pets like cane toads, snakes, ticks, and lots of other ways they can get in trouble. But would you know what to do to help save their life before you can get to a vet's? That's why first aid courses are becoming so popular. And I don't mean first aid courses for adults, I mean pet first aid courses. Vet nurse Kelly Irvine from Southern Cross Vet Clinic here in the Northern Beaches in Cairns has run a few of these first aid workshops for pet owners, and she joins me this morning. Good morning, Kelly.
Morning, Amanda. How are you?
Oh, I'm really great. I know that these have been incredibly popular. Why is it so important for pet owners to know basic first aid?
I think because they're everybody's best friend. And I think if everyone has a little bit of knowledge of what to do before we see them, we may even prevent them from being seriously sick or even death, and be able to let them, continue on with their life with you guys. And also, if you're not as panicked when they are seriously injured or sick, they will be calm, and the more calm that they are, the more likely that we will see them when they're still alive.
And it's really about using that first aid before you can get to a vet's, because a lot of people take their dogs camping and something could happen when you're away and you're not anywhere near a vet's, and you need to be able to manage the situation.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you're rural Queensland, you know how we've got a lot of rural out here. If you at least know a little bit of basic first aid, you may not make it, but at least you can say that you tried.
You did everything you could.
You did everything that you could before your pet succumbs to.
And is pet first aid different to human first aid? I mean, that's a question a lot of people will want to know.
Not a lot of it. Bandaging is still a lot the same, but we also, and snake bites, humans and animals also get snake bites. Humans and pets also get paralysis ticks as well. It's just the symptoms usually show quicker up in the pets before we see them. And it depends on how bad they are as well. Whether it's the start of the season or it's the end of the season, depending on how sick they are.
And I'm guessing things like cane toads, dogs are more likely to lick a cane toad than a human, although there are some unique humans out there. But they're also in different situations, environments than humans. Yeah,
exactly. They go through long grass, whereas we would second guess ourselves before even going through that. They chase kangaroos, they chase possums, they chase little rats. They don't even second guess themselves before they even do it. So they may end up in a situation where we wouldn't even think of, and that's how they end up getting injured or sick. So,
well, you're running a first aid course today, yep. And I'm guessing it'll be a start of a series of running them again. What are some of the most important things you think pet owners should learn?
I think if they have the basic knowledge of what the symptoms are of their pets, so then that way that they can go, yeah, okay, we really do need to go to the vet. This is getting serious. Also acknowledging that if they do have a tick, how to get it off, because the quicker it gets off, the less venom that goes into the pet. And just being calm is usually the most important thing, because if you're calm, then they're calm. And if they're calm, then they'll be like, okay, I know what mum's doing, so I'll be fine.
I have to say, I'm incredibly grateful to you, because I did your pet course last year because I have dogs.
Yes.
And one of my very adventurous dogs bit a cane toad late last year, and I knew exactly what to do, just going on remembering what I'd learnt. And we straight away got, wet cloth and just kept wiping her mouth until we got all the toxins and the poison out. Then we rang the vet. They said, you've done the right thing. And then we brought her in just to get her checked over.
Yep.
But we felt that we'd done the right thing. Is contact with cane toads a common problem that you encounter with people bringing their dogs in?
Yeah. It is. There's more breeds that are more notorious for it, like the Jack Russell. They just love going for it. And It's also
And
like...
they don't learn, do they?
No.
Even though they've done it, they just keep on. It's like they're addicted.
It is an addiction, actually. There is a few breeds out there that once they lick it, they can't stop. So we would usually be seeing them, especially during cane toad season, every couple of weeks to a month. So, and it's like, they do happen to go really, really sick. So if you manage to rinse out their mouth before we see them, then you're less likely to need them admitted into hospital. And then that's, of course, saving you guys a lot of time and money.
Well, I was going to say for us, it was immediate. The second that she bit that cane toad, she started frothing at the mouth immediately. And just wiping it out, it was like soap. It was just, it was so soapy, and it took quite a while to get it all out. But I couldn't believe how immediate the reaction was.
Yeah.
And I would hate to think if we didn't do anything before we got her to the vets.
Yeah. Because, usually their signs go from frothing at the mouth, vomiting, to even seizuring. And it's at that point where it's more difficult to get them out. Not to say that they can't, because we have done it. It's just that if we are less likely to see them when they're seizuring, then there's a better chance.
And for little dogs, that's quite dangerous.
Yes.
My guest is vet nurse Kelly Irvine. She's with the Southern Cross Vet Clinic here in the Northern Beaches in Cairns. What advice would you give listeners who are thinking of doing a pet first aid? You know, even if they can't get to a first aid, what sort of things should they be thinking about?
They should be thinking about, if they're going camping or anything like that, just to have some extra things in their first aid kit, just to make sure that they've got their pet covered as well. Definitely a tick twister is a brilliant one, because that can help pull out the ticks. Just some bandaging, just to help if they need to wrap up, if they've been injured or anything like that. Pair of scissors is most important, and probably some tweezers as well, in case they get splintered.
Do you think that people should have a dedicated first aid pet box? Pet first aid?
I think so. I've actually got better ones than last year. I've actually got little carriers that I've got, so people can see what you can actually put into it and everything like that, like an ice pack, tweezers, tick twister, tissue glue, which is also useful if they do happen to nick themselves a little bit, but it's not needs to be sutured.
Not going to work, is it?
A Band-Aid
on a fluffy dog.
No, and and some cleaning solution like Chlorhex and stuff like that. Swabs, of course, most important, because that's what's going to be cleaning it, and then just some basic bandaging, like your cohesive bandage, which is your vet wrap, your soft band, which is to make it comfortable underneath, and it should be good to go for at least a little while.
Obviously, I'm not going to give everything away, because that's why people need to go along to these to be updated. But, I mean, there's also things like understanding if your dog eats something sharp and understanding what to do. I now have little packets of gravy in my first aid kit of things that I've learnt to look after them. You have started running these. Are these going to be running again throughout the year? Because they are just so important. Because, as I said, I know myself that I felt so much calmer when I was presented with a situation that I possibly in the past wouldn't have known what to do about.
Yeah. I'll be running them monthly, but if it becomes really popular, maybe every fortnight. I've got 12 people coming today, so which is more than what I was expecting, but it's always good.
Do people bring their own dogs along?
They can, as long as they're well behaved and calm, because they're more than welcome to try the bandaging and everything on their pet as well. Just got to make sure that they get along with other dogs also.
I've just had a message popped up here. Best thing for dogs after biting cane toads, take straight to tap, flush mouth out with water, and dog will be fine in 5 to 10 minutes. That's basically what we did. Just kept wetting a wet towel and kept wiping out the mouth.
Just got to make sure it's a towel and not the straight tap or the hose, because...
you have to wipe it. You really have to wipe it.
You have to wipe it, but also with you putting the hose in the dog's mouth, you can actually cause them to aspirate that water, and then that will turn into ammonia, and it may cause ammonia, and then they'll be in hospital for a little while.
And that's certainly not what we want at all.
No.
Well, thank you so much. I think it is incredibly important, especially if you are a pet owner, because they are our best friends. They are part of the family, and it's an incredible skill to have, especially if you take your dogs away camping or you live quite a way out of town and you're not anywhere near the vets. Always a good idea to brush up on this kind of thing and have a dedicated first aid kit for your pet.
Absolutely. And keep it, like, a lot of my clients have one in the car and one in the house. So they always know that wherever they go, they've got it there.
All right. Amazing. Good to know. And that will be on today for anybody who is wanting to head along. But just look out on your Facebook page or website to find out when they're happening, or even on the council website.
Yeah, Facebook page for sure. And we'll have a dedicated link that you guys can do tickets. It's only $10 to come along. I supply snacks and that as well. And we have a break because, of course, I talk a lot.
And that's okay.
And, and then any questions and that I'm happy to answer, absolutely. And you can design your own first aid kits as well.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Kelly. I appreciate you coming in this morning.
Thank you so much, Amanda.
That's vet nurse Kelly Irvine from Southern Cross Vets, just in the Northern Beach.